The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the home of edutainment. This is the Great Debaters Contest, Kakamega edition, and I am Austin Nyombok.
I am Mariam Bishar, and we have Butere boys going versus Kaimosi girls, and they're trying to answer the question on whether socialism is the best way to end poverty. We'll let them take the stage now. First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
They talk about the failure of socialism, but where is the success of capitalism in Africa, Asia, and Latin America? My name is Anton Alukaka from the proposition side, Butere Boys High School. I stand strongly to propose the motion. Socialism is the best way to end poverty. According to Lawrence Fedewa, an author in Washington Times, socialism is the system of government which the means of production and distribution of goods are owned, controlled, or regulated by the government. Poverty is a condition of failing to meet people's basic needs, like food, clothing, and shelter. In layman's language, the motion simply means a system of government in which the means of production and distribution of goods are owned, controlled, and regulated by the government is the best way to end the condition of failing to meet people's basic needs, like food, clothing, and shelter. I propose the motion due to the following. It leads to rapid economic growth. Authority is the main figure in the social economy. It coordinates resources to attain economic progress of the country. It accelerates the path tremendously, progressing, and people enjoy higher standards of living. Take an example of China. According to the Guardian magazine, China's rate of economic growth has increased from 6.8% to 6.9% in 2017. In addition to this, China has lifted more than 620 million people out of international defined poverty. It is the best way for developing countries. This type of economic system is the most suitable to the needs of developing countries, as all means of production are controlled by the government. Kenya's rate of economic growth has decreased from 6.1% in the previous year to 4.7% in 2017. It's still developing. Now, if it's struggling with capitalism, and when it embraces socialism like China, it will develop more than China itself. Judges, in this hall, we have 3 speakers who came out to decide on the points they will give out. They are practicing socialism. Now, if someone could come with his or her own points, where would we go? No, we must practice socialism.
You have 3 minutes.
In as much as you campaign for socialism, tell me, should I sit on a one-legged stool simply because my neighbor borrowed the rest pieces of wood? Should I drive a car with only one wheel simply because I shared the remaining? Carol Daisy Soita, Kaimosi girls. Socialism is a state of political and economic based theory on the belief that what is mine is yours, is hers, and belongs to the rest of the citizens. Poverty, it is the state of lacking resources, basic needs, and social services. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that truly socialism can end poverty? Is it fair for me to go work hard, then come with a little in which I get and share among us 10 people? Will that end poverty? Or is it better if these 10 people compete for resources favorably, work hard, and bring whatever it is that they get on the table? Do you think that will end poverty? I thought so too. Now, I'd like to give you better ways in which we can use to end poverty. First, family planning. If you can be able to control the number of people in your family, if I can be able to control the number of people in my family, then definitely we are controlling overpopulation. So tell me something, ladies and gentlemen. Ever visited Germany? Germany, according to World Health Organization research, is actually one of the top countries that has been able to practice family planning. Back in the 1980s, back in 1982 specifically, it is when the ideology of family planning struck them. This is because the economy was deteriorating so fast, not because of any other reason, but simply because of the overpopulated state of their country. And a research done by World Bank on the 8th of December 2013, clearly shown on the Standard newspaper, indicates that the economy of Germany has increased by 47% since 1982 to 2014. This is because they were able to control their population. Development of the tourism sector. Let me cite an example of Switzerland. Switzerland has most of its tourism organization as private investment organizations. According to www.bbc.co.ke, it clearly shows that Switzerland actually do host tourists both in summer and winter. And this has made them to host up to 21% of the world tourists. This has earned the country up to 2.3 billion shillings in a time span of 2014 to 2016. So ladies and gentlemen, if this isn't compressing tourism, give me a name. Do you have any? I thought so too. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear rebuttals beginning with the gentleman. You have 3 minutes.
I'm Owiti Nigel from Butere Boys High School. I want to represent the proposition. I want to rebut her points. She has talked about family planning. Do you want to tell me that bachelors don't sleep hungry? Do you want to tell me that no bachelor is a poor person? You definitely won't tell me such. Bachelors, we have very many bachelors in our country that are poor, and they do not have either a wife or a child. So why should you tell me use family planning method? Yet we have very many bachelors in the country who are poor. Then development of the tourism sector. If we develop the tourism sector and our government is corrupt, if we develop the tourism sector and our government is corrupt, where will we head to? We find that here socialism is the only way, because the government will distribute equal resources to the people, and this will reduce the rate of poverty to the country. Did you know that Jesus Christ himself was a socialist? Why? He emphasized more on sharing of the resources. He in fact told one of the people that if you want to inherit the kingdom of God, you should share your resources to the poor. Here we find that socialism eliminates social justices. Social justices, we have nepotism, tribalism, racism, gender discrimination. If these resources are divided among the people, then we will do not have the gender discrimination, we will not have tribalism. Why? These people come to work together to achieve a particular goal. For example, I have a sister in Garagals, that is in Nairobi. If my father decides to give
Thank you very much to the audience. The proposition have been asked why countries such as Tanzania that have adopted socialism in the past still struggle with poverty, and the opposition have been asked to expound more on the role of family planning in eradicating poverty. We'll have them respond now. Proposer, you have 3 minutes.
The judges and the audience, you are honored. Fadhili Milkao from Butere Boys is standing here to strongly propose the motion that socialism is the best way to end poverty. I would like to start by answering the question from the audience. You say that why is it that Tanzania is still being struck by poverty, whereas socialism is being practiced in Tanzania? I want to tell you that socialism was immediately dropped in Tanzania when the Ujamaa thing was started by Nyerere. I would like to move on and rebut all the points that our opponents have said because they are not facts. One, she says that North Korea has failed, whereas it practices or it has a socialist economy. Compare North Korea with China. China is the second largest economy in the world. It is practicing socialism. Then, do you want to tell me that if North Korea has failed and it's not even written anywhere in the list of largest economies in the world, then you want to tell me that socialism is not the best way? Think about that. Secondly, she said that socialism encourages parasitism. Socialism makes sure that human resources are distributed equally. And one of these human resources is education. If somebody is educated, has the knowledge, and has the life skill on how to sustain himself, somebody knows the importance of working. This person, even if he's donated with a little money, he knows how to sustain himself. He knows how to develop himself. So you can't tell me that it initiates or encourages parasitism. Then you say that entrepreneurship is one of the ways that can be used to eradicate poverty. Entrepreneurship will only favor those who are able. It will only favor those who have the ability to start and develop. Then, what about the poor? Socialism discourages wasteful advertisements. Okay, under socialism, the government is the main authority and it coordinates the distribution. It plans the distribution of all these resources. Then all producers, all individual producers and all large companies are coordinated by the government. And therefore, you find that there is no competition. When there is no competition, there is no wasting of money of about 6 million shillings only for an advertisement. This is because there is no competition between these individual producers and the companies. Then this money can be allocated to the poor. Will it not help? Think about that. This is contained in the first global goal of the SDGs, no poverty.
Ladies, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Someone very wise once told me, the journey of life, people can walk with you, but they cannot walk for you. And so why do we keep supporting a fallacy that is definitely leading us to keep seeking the dark hand of karma? Kikuyu Tracy of Friends School Kaimosi Girls, here to strike the reality check and open up your minds. Someone just asked, how come we claim that family planning will reduce poverty, and yet we have families with very few members and yet they're living in poverty? That number is very insignificant. But let us take it out of the family level and take it to the national level, to the nation level, sorry. A nation is better off without patients flooded in hospitals. Schools are better off without students flooded in classes. And definitely, just to explain a little bit more, juice is better off thick than light. Like a small drop of water that lands in an ocean and instantly loses its mass is the very same way revenue drawn into a country with socialism loses its value and thus leaving the people to poverty. Why should I keep waking up every single morning at 4 to work for a slothful person? I thought so too. How about we talk youth empowership? Arthur James Hatton from Scott was realized to be one of the architects who built the State House. Now, this very gentleman at that moment in time was drawing in 700,000 pounds at that time. What if we had all our youths drawing in 6 figures at the end of the month? Completely fascinating. Let's say bye-bye to poverty. Secondly, promotion of peace and security. Let us look at Sudan, which has been experiencing war for a very long time. And where is its economy? Wow, the pin drop silence. Comrades, a penny for your thoughts. Now, at the same tempo, I would like to enlighten you a little bit about how improving of the agricultural sector can help us curb poverty. Israel and South Africa have been realized for one of the greatest exports in terms of agriculture. Let us take a look at Israel, a beautiful nation, but so infertile. It has been importing soil. And if you take a closer look at it, a research done by the World Food Organization has realized that Israel has been doing one of the most largest exports in agricultural, which is linking it to SDG, responsible production and consumption. Socialism has been the latest trend. Let us be different. Let us be unique. Let us stand for ourselves. Thank you.
Butere boys, you have 1 minute for your final statements.
Well. If you're saying that socialism is not the best way to end poverty, look at what this capitalism is causing to our Kenya. This is what a Kenyan believes. I am always armed. Try me and you'll face my wrath. This is because of tribalism. Has China ever experienced tribal wars? China has 56 tribes according to the Guardian magazine, while Kenya has only 42. Then if we are facing tribal wars because of capitalism, why don't we embrace socialism so that people can work towards a common cause? Resources can be distributed equally to everyone so that the issues of discrimination, the issues of selfishness can be eradicated. Why? You are telling us that there is peace in South Sudan. Yes, there is peace. But what if we practice socialism where people are not selfish, where people do not practice discrimination? Do you think that this peace will be more than it's in our country? Think about that.
Ladies, you also have 1 minute.
Life without competition is a platform not worth living. Now, a petal of a flower will always remain a petal if only it is owned by one person, but will forever remain a shred if it is shared by many people. Once again, Carol Daisy Soita, Friends School Kaimosi Girls. Now, yesterday I thought about baking a cake, but then I realized I only had 2 ingredients, flour and milk. Why? This is because the remaining ingredients I had actually given to a neighbor the previous night to go and bake a cake for their children. So as I baked the cake, this is what I got. Something that will not even satisfy my urge. But then I realized that if only I had some little margarine, then I will have development of the tourism sector. If I had a little bit of sugar, then I will have youth.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze by Safaricom, the Youth Network.